This is the Galaxy S7, not the Galaxy S7 Edge, but that's far from a bad thing. It's sleek, comfortable, and fast. Starting with the hardware, the S7 feels extremely comfortable in the hands, except for the fact that it's glass on the back, making it a bit slippery. The curved back definitely does help with ergonomics though. And as with the last generation of Galaxy phones, this thing is definitely a fingerprint magnet, so if you do end up purchasing one, get a case and you'll probably be happy. The volume rockers, power button, and home button are super clicky, giving a little satisfaction every time you pick it up. They respond well and have a good feel to them, but on the bottom is a micro USB port, not a Type-C like some people were wanting and expecting. Unfortunately, that isn't the case just yet. The speakers are also on the bottom and sound decent, nothing substantially impressive. One thing to note though is that where the SIM tray is also lies a micro SD card slot for up to 200 gigs of expandable storage, which is a nice step up from the last generation. And as with all recent phones, there is a fingerprint sensor that, in a bet to one of my teammates, only worked 6 out of 10 times. I do like the glass body and metal frame when it comes to design. In my opinion, it looks pretty awesome, and I wouldn't mind having one as my daily driver if looks were all that mattered. It's worth noting though that the 5.1-inch screen felt a little small to me, only because my daily driver is the Nexus 6P, but after a bit of time getting used to it, it felt pretty good to use. Software is a whole nother story. TouchWiz has most definitely improved over the past generations, though not perfect, it's pretty tolerable. Only tolerable with a theme, at least for me. Adding a nice Google-based icon theme makes the experience a lot better, I find. Changing a theme can change the whole appearance of the phone for the better, at least that's the case with TouchWiz. And with 4 gigs of RAM, it's going to be pretty fast at anything you need it to do. I didn't have much stuttering on the S7 and was overall impressed at the speed it put off. Now, there's an interesting feature on the S7 that I have mixed feelings about, the always-on display. I like it and how it works because you can display the calendar and time at all times, so you don't have to touch your phone to get the information you need. But on the other hand, it takes up significantly more battery than, say, if Google did it on a Nexus device, or if Motorola did it on one of their devices. Both of those versions add a bit more functionality as well. But all in all, it's up to the user to decide if they want to use the battery power to keep it on all the time. Personally, for now, it'll be on. And speaking of battery life, it's pretty good considering it's 3000 milliamp hours. It should keep you going the whole day. I used it some of the morning, and then I used Google Maps for an hour, did some shooting with it, and then did another hour of navigating, and it ended the day at 25%. When you do need to charge it up, wireless charging is always an option, and is another plus for me about this phone. The camera does its job really well to top it off. Taking pictures was a lot of fun with this because 98% of the time the results were awesome. You do get a pro mode to mess around with if you're dedicated to mobile shots, but I mainly stuck in auto. Colors are vibrant and the HDR mode is on point only when it absolutely needs to be. Focus is fast and clear and makes almost every shot look pretty amazing. Video mode is also pretty stunning as well. Take a look at this. Overall, with the new theme, a couple tweaks here and there, I'm loving the S7 a lot. I would prefer the S7 over the Edge, even though it doesn't have as good a battery life and a tad smaller screen. It's still above the S7 Edge on my list. Anyway, that about does it for this video review of the S7. I'm Andrew with iTech Triad, and thanks for watching.
I'm gonna call him George. Aw, George.